Story time with Andy. This might be a little bit triggering for some of you, just to let you know. Okay, trigger warning, it is about losing a loved one, okay? If you want to carry on listening, then you can do. If you don't, then just scroll on. 26th of October is always a year that I struggle with. A date that I struggle with. Ever since 2014. Now I'm going to walk you through step by step of what happened to me on the 26th of October 2014. I was with my ex, who I later went and married back then. Not going to mention any names or anything like that, but obviously I was with her. Now, her birthday was on the 26th of October, funnily enough. And also her son's was on the 28th, I believe. Again, this makes me laugh a little bit because I could never remember which one was her birthday. So yeah, there's kind of a bit of a moral to this when I get to it. You know what it is, dates and time. I'm useless. Anyway, now I don't forget it anymore. So that day, on the 26th of October 2014, I woke up to a phone call from a very old friend back in the day who I grew up with. I'd not been living in that area for many years, and she told me that the police were looking for me. And I'm like, the police looking for me? I'm like, why? Why would the police be looking for me, you know? Didn't make any sense at the time because I was thinking, what have I done wrong? And I thought, oh, maybe there are a couple of things, but I thought nothing that really warranted a warrant as such, you know? So I was like, Anyway, this girl, she told me, she says, I've sent the police up to where you are anyway, because she knew my address. So she sent them on way to my current address. And she also said that she believes it's to do with my mum. So obviously, at that point, I was like, right, so it's my ex-wife's birthday, yeah? And I'm thinking, right, what's wrong with my mum? Why is the police coming to speak to me? What's going on? So I get on the phone to my mum. Phone's ringing out, okay? Phone's ringing out. I'm going straight to voicemail, which I did think was a little bit strange. So obviously, from that phone call to finding out the police are coming up to my new address to speak to me, my head's on overdrive. My mum's not answered the phone. I've heard that it might be to do with my mum. So within that time frame, I'm going a little bit bonkers in my head, thinking what's going on. After conversations with my ex at the time, or my partner at the time, she looked at me and she just had this worried look in her face, and I looked at her, and that's when it dawned on me. That's when something dropped in my head. That's when the penny dropped. And I'm just thinking to myself, no, it's not that. It's not that. I was speaking to her the other day. I'd just got back from working with my dad for 2 weeks in London. And I just got back and I promised myself that I'd go and see her. So I was like, nah, she's absolutely fine. Nah. More minutes go by and more thoughts are going through my head, and I'm like, it fucking better not be that what I'm thinking now. You know, like, as you can imagine what I was thinking. I'm like, why are the police coming to see me about my mum? Nothing was making sense. So the police car turned up. I was stood outside my front door waiting for it. And it was a bit like, he looked like he was stressed out. The guy looked like he was stressed out. The police officer looked like he was so stressed out because he must have been trying to find me for a couple of hours. Like, I'm just like, what do you want? And he's like, are you Andy? And I'm like, what do you want? He's like, are you Andy? I'm like, what do you want? He's like, are you Andy? I'm like, yes. He goes, come and sit in the back of the car. I'm like, what the So we'll go to the back of the car, and I sit in the back of the car. And again, this guy looked mighty stressed because he must have been trying to find me. Anyway, he told me that my mum had a cardiac arrest. That's what he believed at the time. And I just remember looking at him and just saying, just tell me she's okay. And there was this awkward silence, awful silence, terrible silence, while he's looking back at me, not saying a word. And he just said, I'm sorry, mate, but she's passed away. So within that moment, I've got out of the police car. I'm done talking to this copper now. I'm not speaking to him anymore. I found out what I needed to know, and I started losing my head. Obviously, emotions start kicking in. I start acting irrationally and all that sort of stuff. I ring my dad. I said, Dad, my mum's passed. My dad was there in 10 minutes, bless him. It didn't take long. This copper wanted to take me to the hospital, but I wasn't up for it. I says, no, I'm not going with you, mate. I said, I don't care how long you've been looking for me. I said, I'm going with my dad. So he went back to the hospital. And then my dad obviously takes me to the hospital. One of the most silent car journeys that I've ever experienced in my life, between father and son. One of the most silent, because they were divorced, my mum and dad. So it was very weird, very strange for my dad, maybe. But I just remember it being such a silent drive. I had to ring my mum's brother, my uncle, and like my grandma had serious dementia at that point. My mum was looking after her, and my grandma didn't know who was who, so I couldn't speak to her about it to let her know that her daughter had passed away. And yeah, I remember just ringing everybody just frantically. I didn't know what to do. You know what I mean? You don't know what to do in these situations. So we get to the hospital, and I have to identify my mum. I had to confirm it's her. Confirmed it was her. And obviously then everything else followed, I found out basically, because I had to go back to her house, I found out that I found out from the coroner after that, but what basically happened was she had an ulcer in her stomach, which popped and poisoned the blood, and then she had an ectopic heart attack. She went down the stairs, she went outside, she knocked on the neighbour's door and she fell there. That's all I know. You might be thinking, Andy, why are you telling us all this now? Well, I'm telling you my life, basically, and I'm telling you just so you know why I go quiet in the season of October. You may think ParanormalTT needs to be active in October, but at this time, I go very quiet and I go very into myself. There's a couple of positives this year. The positives are that my circle is now so small, okay, that the people that I stay in touch with on a daily basis, man, it's very easier to do because it's such a small circle. Since everything that's gone on in the future, in the past of 2025, which has got nothing to do with this. But now my circle is that small with the people that I care for, the people that care for me, the people that want to make sure I'm okay, and I want to make sure they're okay. It's so small that I don't have that option to shut myself off and ghost myself away from people these days. Because usually at this time of the year, I will turn my phone off and I will go under on myself and I'll just sit there and wallow. Or take it out on people that don't need it to take it out on and all that sort of stuff, because I had negative people in my life and it was just my selection of people just weren't true. But now they are, which makes it better and almost more difficult. It makes it better because I know when I speak to these people, they genuinely care about me. It makes it worse because I can't ghost myself away anymore because I care for them too. Just while I fill out the rest of this video now, I'm going to talk about the emotional side of what I feel about this time of the year. I feel a lot of guilt. The fact that I wasn't there for her. The fact that I wasn't there for her at a time of need. I feel very hurt that I never got to say goodbye to her. Even though I know I'm a medium and I can speak to spirits and I've spoken to her mum already since that, it still doesn't make it any easier because I never got to say goodbye. And when this time of the month comes up, I just start feeling empty. I just start feeling like completely empty and just lost in my head. And the funny thing is, I always know it's coming, but there's nothing I can do about it. You might think 11 years passing, you might think it gets easier, but it just doesn't. I just want to say in this final part of the video now, a massive thank you to everybody who supported me throughout this period. Everybody who's there for me on a daily basis, everybody who's there checking on me on a daily basis. I really do appreciate every single one of you, and I love you all from the bottom of my heart. You all know who you are, and you all hold a special place in my heart, okay? But yeah, listen, I'll be back next week with some investigations, but until then, the Spirit Gang is real. The Spirit Gang is active. Thank you so much for listening to this story. It means a lot to me. Take care, guys.